20-minute song.
It's not actually 20 minutes.
Dewey, put on something creative.
Dewey, you're so fucking
Oh boy. Is there any way that I can put a melody over this? No. Yeah, I am the melody. Yeah. Hey me, nigga, hey me. You a dummy, funny lady. I'll name you Katie. Talking shit, you like a baby. I cannot understand. I keep that Tommy gun under my pants. In my hands, make you dance. Fucking no melody, I am the melody. Kill to be American, I catching felonies. I am not listening to what you're telling me. I am not buying the shit that you're selling me. I'm in the cut with Sir Dewey, he dirty. I'm making this art till I'm well over 30 or 40. You buying that clout, get aborted. You niggas unworthy of being awarded for anything other than being recorded. As some of the worst niggas labeled important. Go put some more in, you like a moron. I ain't talking foreign, but nigga, I'm touring. Keep up the pouring, that poison your organs. I'll keep putting powder front of my forehead. Popping them pills to these artists, there's more dead. Ain't snorting nothing but Smarties and warheads. I'm sick of you niggas, I'm sick of you bitches. Go say what you want about me and my riches. You faking statistics, these niggas be leaving they lipstick on top of my dick tip. Pussy, I whiff it from miles away. I will never work with niggas that do shit for clout, cause they dry like a pile of hay. Ain't nothing new, nigga, ain't shit to do with ya. I'm pushing shit like Van Gogh or Kanye. In the Van Gogh from LA to the Bay and the back, cause I'm very much missing my bay. Hair on my dick and my face, and I shave it with Mason. Erase it, flow into the drain. They came here to play, what you want say? One of these days, I'ma blow up like Hiroshima. No, sir, I don't buy no plays. I don't even care if you listen, you shit in the
and execute a ready set go game plan so that you are ready, set, and able to go when an emergency happens.
Bitch, I'm smoking gas in my chambers like it's the
We're sorry. Your lyric cannot be completed because and we want to suppress your opinion, fascist.
Take away the First Amendment. All hail censorship. All hail our feelings. My God is realer than yours. He says what I do is right, that I should fight if heaven pours.
I am very, very sorry. My apologies for coming off so harshly. Impart me second chance so I can dance the way you want me. You Nazi, got me. Take a lot more than that to taught me. Soft ain't what I'm made of. You're the one acting like Adolf. Cocky way that you goose stepping, way that you loose slipping. Talking about who tripping, talking about who to shove under the bus and who all of us trust that we shouldn't. This just in, little darky is racist. Spreading the message of Satan with faces. Blacker than any of us probably are. But I'm still offended cause I'm a retard. He trying to be hard, we trying to be safe by making it hard for you to create. Niggas that heard me fight and debate. I don't deserve not one word of the hate. Mind control, all my thoughts are mine to hold. Blood down in my spinal cord. Bitches ain't my final form. I got no time for you puppets. Take your opinion and shove it. I keep my spirit above it. I'm taking criticism if it isn't ignorant. I'm not concerned with fitting in, I hit it different. I'm a cartoon, but niggas doing more pretending than me. Bitches like a fan, nigga, they banned on IG. You don't gotta be a headache, you don't like me. Why I keep a grin on my face on my G? All these niggas mad they ain't eating like concentration camp. Got yourself escaping from leaving over the nation fan. Most these niggas faking, not working, I'm putting them aside. Smoking till there's nothing remaining, I call it genocide. Call it genocide. I call it genocide. I call it genocide. I call it genocide. Oh. What's this? Yo, bitch, and Timmy Turner to the tippy top. I wonder if these niggas really gritty's blocks. Trippin', acid, lippin', flaccid, diggin' till she give me top. Skipping to the store, I got a red hood on. Salvia, we ripping out a 10-foot bomb. There's a bitch inside my house, she keep on saying she's in pain. Yeah, she's sitting on my couch with burning needles in her brain. Dipping Orem in her veins. Yeah, she was on like...
Mic check. Hey! Oh!
The combo made her go
Okay,
insane.
everything is set. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, we're gonna be playing Survivalist Invisible Strand right now, so yeah, sorry it took a little bit, but let's play new game stories. Now let's just go sandbox. SpongeBob, SpongeBob. Male. First name Toby. Last name Inside. Community name Mima Mima. Community name me. Favorite characters. Oh, I don't have hair. I gotta change the. That's in the file. There's face type. Face type. Let's get into this. Hairstyle. Okay. Let's make it blonde so all of the zombies devour Santa! All I want for Christmas. Where's like deathly white? This kind of looks like that guy from Far Cry, doesn't it? Maybe the hair will like protect him from the zombies. Let's put a bunch of freckles on his face, make him tall, skinny. Actually, the settlement will be Toastyopolis. This is not how you spell it, but I don't really care. Age 80. Make him a young boy. He run fast when he get yeah. Big ears. Want to hear that? We want to hear those zombies. No size. We gotta smell the zombies. Nose width. Make that. We need to make it so you can smell the zombies. Nose. Yep. Jesus, how many sliders are there for your nose? Of course, I'm gonna put them all up. Chin size. Need a pretty big chin. Yeah. Jaw size. Big jaws. Like that. Cheeks. No, you want those. Oh my god, I love games with slider customization. Forehead size. Forehead position. You want to make him look mad all the time. Lip size. Big lips. He's gonna eat the zombies, bro. He needs to see the zombies. Let's rotate them that way. Make them close together. Wait. The sliders are either all the way all the way up besides the face one, or all the way down. So let's get clothing. Buckled boots or combat boots? Let's do buckled boots. Let's get a shirt. And we can do some combat pants, don't you think? Yeah. Equipment, bow and arrow. Yep. Archer. I want trapper. Who's the one of it? Fighter. I want a Molotov. So we're gonna have this knife. Then we're gonna have a gun and some ammo. No. And have some bandages. And then some healing. Okay. I think this is a pretty good loadout start. Cancel. Just like you on TikTok, Jeremy. I need bullets. Ooh, yeah, we need flint. Okay. No! No, I didn't edit everything! And I spilled my Coke. Jesus Christ. God. I spilled Coke. Not everywhere. Still in places. Hand-to-hand fitness. Construction. Let's customize my personality. Boom. Early summer. Did you just change my clothing? You dirty rascal. You dirty boy there. You are dirty. How was that 1 point? It's an actual R. I said that boy. Invite only. Oh yeah! Development build. Who is that coming up the pick and roll there, boy? Well, that video is so funny. Absolutely laughing. I know the basics. You kill a zombie, take its stuff, rip its clothes, put its ripped up clothes on your wounds, and that's how I know how to play. I have no idea how to play any other way. Who is that coming up the pig and roll? This is our absolute genius. Who is that coming up? Oh! Okay, guys. Knife. Head. Raider, the Lost Ark. Jesus. Skin you. Okay. Let's skin this. Don't know why we need to skin it. Let's tear up all of its clothes. This is an absolute masterpiece of a game. And I'll just put the shoes over. Don't really need the boots. Well, it's already nighttime. Been a long day fighting enemies. Is that a car? Looks like a Humvee. Gotta have my knife out. You never know what you're gonna find. Okay. So there's like a gun inside the car. Can I drive it? $18 Celsius? I don't know Celsius. I don't know the conversion rate of Fahrenheit, Celsius and stuff, you know? This is a set zone. Yes, resume the game. I have my knife, right? I'm just gonna follow the road until I find a city. Is that a house? I think that's a house. I must find out if that's a house or not. Ow. It is! It's a house! Wait, is it a house? I don't care. Houses mean loot, bro. Someone inside? Bro, looting? Bro, looting in this game is so easy. Inventory's full. I don't really need a book. Wear that. Destroy the boots. Okay. Take all these. Destroy the books. Bro, I bet some master at this game is gonna be like, you should stop doing that. They're very important to the computing way that the game works. Blah blah blah. I like cars. Like, bro, I love cars. I'm gonna enter the building. You ready? I'm gonna sneak up on this zombie. Gonna get you, boy. Just cut your skin off. Mm-mm-mm. Bro, let's drink some vodka. This is a good game. Fatigue. Are you hungry? Didn't want to have to do this, bud. Oh! Enter building. Cannot compute. Oh, I'm losing blood. Rip. Well, we're dead. Load up another game. guys want to watch YouTube? I think you guys do.
Wait for the wind.
Let's watch Mr. Nightmare, bro. Okay. So, watching Mr. Nightmare.
Number 3. My dad has been an MTA Transit subway station manager for 35 years. With this job, there has to be a manager on duty at all times, so he's practically done every single possible shift throughout his career. That means he's done his fair share of night shifts. Most trains were completely empty throughout the night. He said it was the only nice part about doing the night shift. He has a series of funny and weird night shift stories to tell, but there's one downright horrifying one. My dad had just boarded the train to move to his office at another station.
Nice.
He was alone when he got on, which was at about 3 in the morning.
Nice.
At the next station, someone boarded. My dad describes him as a white, tall and skinny man wearing a heavy jacket and beanie. He shot my dad a quick glance before sitting in the furthest corner away from him. My dad said that he felt uncomfortable as the guy kept looking up at him every so often. When my dad's stop came, he got off, as well as the other man. He walked to his office door, unlocked it, and looked behind him. The man in the jacket was pacing around only about 50 feet away. My dad stepped into his office, shut the door, locked it, and sat at his desk. 5 minutes later, someone started to try and turn the doorknob. After the person on the other side of the door realized it was locked, they started to knock softly. My dad called out, "Who is it?" And they responded, "I want to talk." He told whoever it was to go away. He says he knew trouble when he saw it. He had a good feeling it was the guy from the train, as this station at a time like this was apparently always completely empty. My dad told the guy to go away. He continued to knock for a good 5 minutes. My dad finally pulled up the security camera screens and brought up the camera pointed to his office door. Sure enough, there was the guy from the train, wearing the jacket and beanie. Coincidentally, as soon as my dad brought up the camera, the man walked away. So my dad did whatever his work consisted of for about half an hour in that office. Before leaving to catch the next train, he checked the camera to make sure that the weird guy wasn't out there. He locked up and walked down the stairs to the train platform, where he got on the train right away. Looking out the window, he saw the guy from before walking down the stairs to the platform, and then stepping on the train into the same car as my dad. He sat down on the opposite side, a few seats to the right. My dad tried to look away and pretend not to notice him, but he knew the guy was staring at him. He at one point gave in and stared back, giving a slight nod and smile in some sort of truce attempt before looking away again. The man stared at my dad the whole ride to the next station, but my dad never looked back at him once after the first time. Now you may be asking, why didn't he try to forcibly get the guy to back off? Well, despite my dad's intimidating size, he's always been a complete teddy bear, no bark and no bite. Plus, he says he feared that guy was armed and that one small motion could lead to death. When the train stopped at the station, my dad practically ran all the way back up to the streets, constantly glancing over his shoulder, and yes, the man from the train was following him. My dad had to find the first public building still open to try and escape. He found a Wendy's that was open and stepped inside. He sat and watched as the guy following him walked up to the window, stopped, and stared my dad down through the glass for about 10 seconds before turning around and walking across the street and then down the sidewalks. My dad said he ate, waited a little longer, then left the Wendy's to get to his third and final station for the night. The scariest part, when my dad was in his third office, as he was checking the security cameras out of the paranoia of the situation, he caught the guy from the train pacing around the outside, only about 30 feet from his office. He then stopped, looked up at the camera, and according to my dad, literally froze and stared for no less than a minute. When he finally lowered his
That's
head,
spooky,
he walked
bro.
away out of the station to never be seen by my dad again. My dad doesn't know if he was followed after leaving the Wendy's, but that would only make sense. The guy was clearly disturbed, possibly homeless and or dangerous, and who knows what he actually wanted with my dad. Number 2.
I'm mom.
Me and my 3 friends were in New York around Christmas time. We didn't finally decide to leave until about maybe 2 in the morning. We got on the first train that we could catch, and as expected, it was empty. We were pretty sobered up by then. Then there was a sudden commotion in the next car over. We had peeked through the glass in between the cars, and there were 2 hooded men, or maybe teenagers, standing obnoxiously close to a woman sitting in one of the seats who was screaming for help. I suggested that we go over and kick their asses, but as me and a buddy got a closer look, we saw they were armed with handguns. I pushed all my friends to get to the next car over, away from the armed men. I took a look back and saw one of the men pointing at us before starting to follow. We ran through at least 3 different cars with the men following us before the train finally stopped at the next station. We all booked it through the old station to the nearest place we could hide. I got separated from my friends, so I went to hide behind a garbage can. I could hear my chaser's shoes hitting the tiled floors, so I knew I had no time to find a better hiding spot. I peeked through the opening at the top of the bin. I could get a better look at them now. One was black, the other was Indian, and they were both really young looking. I was sure they were only trying to rob us, until I heard one of them say, "If you find them, kill them." I hope you understand why I almost gave away my position in reaction to hearing this. With a gasp and almost pulling the garbage bin down with me as I returned to cover, I consider it a miracle neither of them caught me. They left the area. I took notice that they didn't have their guns drawn at that moment. I ran in the opposite direction of the 2 and quickly caught my friends who were waving me over from behind a large pole. I took cover with them behind another pole not far from that one, and we waited for as long as we thought necessary. The big shock to this story, though, was when we caught glimpse of the woman from the train, who we thought was being threatened by the 2 men, walking over in the direction of the men and then calling something along the lines of, "Where are they? Don't tell me you didn't get them." The 2 men reappeared from beyond a corner, walking over to the woman. The rest of what they said was too low to pick up on. They walked back down the stairs to the platforms, and as we could guess, waited for another train to run their trap again. At the very least, we called the police and reported what was going on, but I have no idea if they were ever caught. Number 1.
Mega Brain.
My name is Danny.
Megamind?
I'm 22 years old, and this was the most horrifying experience of my life. I live and work in New
No
York City,
change in
but I don't have a
scenery?
car, so my main mode of transportation is the
Mr.
subway.
Nightmare? Getting mid?
It was a Saturday night. I
No,
was
I'd
on my
never
way
say
home
that
from a
about
party
Mr.
in the middle of the night.
Mister!
I did this about every other
Mister.
weekend, so I was completely fine with taking the subway alone at night. Walking down the steps, entering the underground without a soul in sight, it was always a bit chilling. This specific station was very tightly spaced. As I was walking, I could almost feel as if I were being watched or followed, along with the occasional echoing bang-type sound emitting from an unknown location. I was early for the train, so I sat on a bench and waited. This is something
My
straight
dog
out of a
just
horror
scared
movie.
me. I forgot
I
he
heard
was
this
in
exact
here.
phrase.
And then he jumped on my bed. I was like,
Over here,
oh
buddy."
my god, I'm gonna
There
die.
was somebody standing on the tracks inside the tunnel, poking his head out and looking at me. It was a filthy looking man, I'd say in his early 40s. He gave me a smile, a horrible yellow smile with at least 3 teeth missing, and I could tell that even from where I was sitting. I did the best I could to pay no attention to him, but he wouldn't go away. There was laughing coming from inside the tunnel, and then another disgusting looking man stuck his face out as well. This man gave me a nasty smile as well, before telling me to come hang out with them in the tunnel. The way they stared at me though, Their eyes wouldn't even move. It's as if their sight was locked onto me. I resumed doing the best I could to ignore them and just wait for the train. I noticed in my peripheral vision that one of the men moved away into the tunnel, returning moments later with another face. I had to look again. There was a third face, but this one was hunched over and lifeless. It looked like one of the men were holding the guy's face up. The sound of the train approaching felt like 1,000 pounds off my shoulders. I got up ready to board the train, but when I got closer to the edge of the platform, I nearly threw up at the sight. The two men were going back into the tunnel, but the second man in the back was holding something in his hand. A head. Just a head. Like a decapitated head. They disappeared from sight onto the side of the tunnel. As the train stopped, I got into the first car, planning on warning the conductor, but no later than after we left the station. I didn't want to be there a second longer. As the train began to move, I saw legs moving down the stairs to the platform, but that was it. I didn't get to see who it was. But what I did get to see, as the train moved into the tunnels, I caught a glimpse of a group of men, hunched up against the railing, inches away from the train window, and they were all looking right at me. I knocked on the conductor's door like a madman, screaming it was an emergency. He opened up and I explained what I just saw. He radioed to somebody in charge of the station, as well as another higher-up of the company, who I'm sure took care of it, or contacted the proper authorities or security, whatever. It seemed to take ages for my stop to come, but when it did, I practically had to hop in my walk from relief. I have since been to one party at the same friend's house, but I skipped that station. I decided it was worth it to take the extra long walk to the next station. I don't know if weird shit happens often in the subway at night. In my experience prior to this incident,
it's a subway
it never
at
did.
night. There's no one
But
there.
After this experience, I think I should say
I'm pretty
you should
sure
be
every
extremely
story
cautious
happened
when
at
in an
night.
isolated place
Like-
a subway station late at night.
Good job, Mr. My there. All the kids watching stream, or sorry, 0 people watching stream. VOD watchers. Did I scare you? Bro, little kids shivering their boots out right now. Help! 3 times Mr. Nightmare said a no. Find my iPhone scary stories. The audio is not up to you. Does that count as reaction content? The audio recordings are protected by copyright. Mr. Nightmare, copyright me to hell if this is, because I have no idea what that says. If I'm actually doing a breaking copyright law, please copyright me to hell on this video, since I don't make money. Everybody else watches Mr. Nightmare videos on video.
I went to a bar with a couple friends one Saturday night. We got really drunk and eventually all spread out throughout the bar as we went to talk to different people. Long story short, I was having a bad night and I wasn't feeling the whole bar scene really. I called an Uber home, which was about 15 minutes away. The Uber pulled up, but instead some old, crappy-looking 2003 or something Honda Accord pulled up in front of the bar.
Benny? Dap
I
me
knocked
up.
on the window and
Cup.
asked, "Mike?"
G.
He nodded. So I got in the passenger seat,
Jesus
only because the
Christ.
front seat was covered with books and other stuff that appeared to be
Hey,
junk.
I just met you.
In fact,
I
the
know
entire
it's
car was messy.
crazy.
The back seats too.
I know.
He didn't
Don't
seem
call
like the
me
kind of Uber
maybe.
driver to joke around and make conversation with. He was on the older side, not that old,
Oh,
but his hair
yo.
was thinning, and
Yeah.
based on what I could
Yeah.
see of his face, he looked kind of unfriendly. So I kept silent. I was pretty drunk though, so I barely remember what I was doing. Probably drunk texting people and whatnot. I'm telling you, I was blackout drunk because I don't remember even getting out of the car. All I really remember is waking up the next morning and realizing my phone was missing. I checked everywhere. I practically turned my whole room upside down looking for it. Eventually, after hours of searching, I came to the unfortunate acceptance that I must have lost my phone the night before. I had my brother text all my friends asking if they had my phone. All of them said no. Then I remembered I recently activated Find My iPhone. I excitedly told my brother to track my phone using the Find My iPhone app. Sure enough, my iPhone came up on the map. It was a few miles away, on the much worse side of town, the part of town everyone knew not to go to. My brother agreed to come with me, not only to help track the phone, but to serve as backup if needed. We pulled up to what appeared to be the house that the iPhone on the map was sitting over. It was a small box-like house. 2 windows in front, 1 window on the upper level. It was either 8 or 9 p.m., still early, so my brother and I went ahead and rang the
Sorry, my
doorbell.
mom called earlier, but
It
I
didn't
didn't
seem
look
like
to
the bell
see.
worked though,
Look.
so I knocked
Here.
really hard on the door.
Hey, I got
I could
camera.
actually hear footsteps
We got
on the creaky
camera.
wood floor
Look
approaching the
like
front door.
30.
Then silence.
Right up on me, yeah, I'm
There
gonna
was
do
a
you
peephole in the
dirty.
door,
Hey,
so I had a feeling someone
Hey.
was watching us through it at that very moment. After an uncomfortably long silence, the door cracked open and someone asked who it is in a
hey,
very
what
raspy,
is up,
almost
my
familiar voice.
pepperoni
He
eaters?
mentioned the lost iPhone situation. At first he played dumb.
Sorry, I was
When
sending
I turned to the driveway
voice
and
message
recognized
to
the
my
old
friend.
Honda Accord, I called him out for being my Uber driver, and then I must have dropped my phone in his car. At this point, he opened the door fully and revealed himself to indeed be my Uber driver. Now he acted like he remembered, but his whole persona and everything was disturbing. He clearly didn't know what social cues were, or forget that, he clearly just didn't know what social skills were. He told us to come in
Get
and
some
shut the
social
door behind
skills.
us.
Still.
Then he told us to wait there while he went upstairs to find my phone. I thanked him, and as creepy as the guy was, I felt relieved that I'd be getting my phone back. My brother and I stood in the tiny hallway of this man's tiny house. It was so archaic inside. The finishing, the design, everything. The floral wallpaper covering all of the walls looked like it belonged in a house built in the 1930s. The stairs that the man walked up were creaky and sounded like they were ready to collapse. We heard the man walking around upstairs for a bit. The creakiness followed his every step until we heard him stop directly overhead. My brother and I patiently played the waiting game, with my checking my watch every minute or so. He seemed to be up there for a total of 10 minutes. My brother and I got so impatient at this point that we started calling up the stairs, asking the man if he needed help. We heard a slight creak in the floor right above us again, but he didn't call back. My brother told me to go upstairs and check if he needed help, so I hesitantly did. As I got halfway up the stairs, I realized it was insanely dark up there, which made me wonder how he could even possibly be looking for my phone. I got to the top. There seemed to be 3 open doors, one leading to a bathroom, the other 2 leading to bedrooms. All the lights were off except for a little hallway nightlight. I called out for the man again, to no avail. I called down the stairs to my brother, saying that all the lights were off and something wasn't right. He didn't answer for some reason. I checked the bathroom. Empty.
He's bad.
I was about to check one of the bedrooms, passing the door to the bathroom, but I stopped when I saw something through the crack of the bathroom door. The man, he was hiding behind the door, holding something in his hand.
Oh, sorry.
I felt
I
like he
saw
was
something
looking at me,
spooky.
but I didn't look for more than a second.
I like eyes.
I looked away and pretended I didn't.
Ice!
I had to get downstairs ASAP.
ASAP
I nervously
Rocky.
called out to the man that I'd be going downstairs and that I'd be right back. I walked with a certain speed and jumped my step right to the stairs, at which point I booked it and screamed for my brother to follow me. My brother emerged from one of the other rooms downstairs after apparently snooping around, and without questioning it, followed me outside to the car. We drove down the block as I explained in full what happened. The next thing we did was dial 911 for the police. An officer showed up to the house where we returned, showed the officer the Find My iPhone app screen, and knocked on the door with the officer. The man would eventually answer, and the officer forced the man to fetch the phone. This time he did without hesitation. He went up the stairs and 10 seconds later came back down. My brother and I begged the officer to arrest him or do something, given that he looked as if he were waiting to strike me as he was behind that door. The officer said there was nothing he could do though, and I swear, as I said this, the Uber driver looked at me with the most disgusting, disturbing, and evil stare I'd ever seen. I gave him the middle finger and turned away as we left the house, which felt good slightly, but I still get scared thinking about seeing that man behind that door, very clearly holding something in his hand, most likely waiting to attack me if I were to see him.
Let's go! Mr. Nightmare got 1.1 billion views!
Before I got an iPhone 10, I used to have an iPhone 7. I was perfectly fine with that phone, and I never got a scratch on it. I'd probably still have that phone now if I didn't lose it. I always had the Find My iPhone feature enabled, however, just in case if I did lose it, I'd be able to track it. To this day, I still don't remember how or where I lost the phone. All I remember is I came home one day, quickly realized I didn't have my phone on me, and had a mini heart attack. I searched the whole house, my car, the pathway up to the house. I even drove back to all the locations I was in that night to look for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I remembered I could sign into my iCloud account from my laptop and track my iPhone using the Find My iPhone setting. So I drove home and did just that. Apparently my phone was coming up somewhere in the woods at the end of the village. None of my siblings were home at the time. They were all away at school, so I couldn't ask any of them to come with me. So it looked like I was heading out alone. My dad didn't want me to come because he had work early the next morning, but he let me take his phone with me to track my phone. It was a quick 5 to 10 minute drive to the woods. I parked on the grass on the side of the road. It seemed like I was maybe a minute walk north away. Obviously, I brought my flashlight expecting to be following the trail into the woods. Now that I stood there, though, the idea of going in there was a lot less appealing.
Yeah,
fact,
you're
the
in
whole
a
situation
forest
seemed more
at
suspicious.
night.
Such as
What
why
do you
whoever
expect?
found my phone would be in the middle of the dark woods at 10 o'clock. I definitely shouldn't have come alone.
Alpha
But at this
Bravo.
point, I didn't see much more of a choice
Sorry.
than following the trail.
I got Coke
The
Dreamlight.
flashlight I had sucked. It barely lit up the trail 5 feet in front of me.
Please don't call the police on
Eventually, it
me.
seemed like I was right on the
Don't
mark
dox
of the
me to
location for
hell
my phone.
and then call the police on
I
me.
did a full 360, examining my surroundings.
Wink, wink.
But
Well,
seeing
actually,
nothing but
no.
darkness and trees.
As long as you don't
I
post it
started yelling
online
for somebody
or
to
come
out.
after me.
It was
You
the
can
first
dox
time
me
I
all
heard
you
my own
want.
voice in an hour, and it came out weak and unintimidating. When I called out, I heard a whispering come from beyond a few trees, in the east direction on my map. I yelled out again. Silence this time now. I started sending texts with my dad's phone to my phone, and I heard the dings coming from the same direction as the whispering. I looked in that direction and saw the glow of a phone screen so bright that it lit up the figures of 2, maybe 3 men standing behind a line of trees. At that exact moment,
son,
I had a
where'd you
realization in
find
my head
this?
that I was in way over my head being in those woods alone, and that my iPhone was in no way worth risking my life. I turned the flashlight off and ran back down the trail as fast as I could, back to my car.
Damn, son.
By the time I got back, my phone could no longer be located on the Find My iPhone app, meaning it was either broken, disconnected, or turned off. I have checked a few times since then if the phone comes up on the map. It never has, though. I think I made the right choice running away. I don't think
Damn,
any
son.
possession would be worth approaching a
Where'd
group
you
of
find
people like
this?
that in the woods.
Damn, son. Where'd you find it?
I recently lost my iPhone. It was a 5C, a really old one. I was due for another one anyway, but let me tell you the story of how I lost
Bro,
it.
get the iPhone 5
I had
Plus.
admittedly been drinking one night on the weekend.
If you
At some
agree, you're
point in
lying.
the night, I lost
Doesn't
my
exist.
phone. Later on in the night, when my friends and I sobered up a bit, I asked one of my friends to let me use their phone to track mine using the Find My iPhone thing. It wasn't too far, actually, only a mile away from us, but that meant someone took my phone. My friend Ryan and I took a drive to this abandoned warehouse building. Of course, it had to be an abandoned building. We found a way inside, with only Ryan's phone flashlight to use for navigation. The place was cold, full of trash and rubble, and every little sound created an echo. We heard yelling coming from upstairs, from what sounded like two people. Ryan and I figured one of
I
them
need
had to
epic
have my phone.
commentary
So
with
still,
me,
with a
and
slight
I'm not
amount
good
of
at
liquid
commentary,
confidence
so
in
I'm just
us,
gonna call
we
Bryce.
found a stairway that led to the next level. We came to a hallway, which was disturbingly silent. The only thing to break the silence was a bang from a nearby locker room type area. Ryan and I both tried hard to make our presence known so that we wouldn't surprise any potentially dangerous people. We entered this kind of changing room area, or whatever it was, but it had a bunch of lockers. No one was in the room. I started checking the lockers out of desperation, which made a lot of noise, I guess, because we heard a deep voice from another room call us over and said that they had what we were looking for. I was about to walk into the adjacent room, but Rai put his hand on my shoulder to stop me and put his finger on his lips as he went, shh. He was doing something on his phone. I didn't know what until I heard my ringtone and the vibration of my phone coming from one of the lockers. There were too many to distinguish quick enough which one it could be. I started checking the ones where the sound could have been coming from before Rai pulled me by the arm and told me, let's go. I told him, wait, let me get my phone first, but he kept saying, no, let's go. By the time we got to the car, we had a long discussion about what was going down in there, or what was about to go down. Rai was positive we were walking straight into a trap. How he was so sure was because as I was checking the lockers for my phone, he spotted someone's head behind one of the walls to the adjacent room. They were peering their head in
Jump
just
scare?
barely, making it obvious
jump
they
scare,
were
bro.
hiding and had questionable intentions.
Mr.
It wasn't
Body
the end of the
control?
world. It was an old iPhone that wouldn't have been worth much anyway. It was much better to escape with our wallets.
Oh, video's over. Wait,